Hello everyone and welcome to another Demoscene report video. This is the focusing on November 2023. As usual, if you're new to the format, I went through all of the news and highlights that I could find about the demo scene throughout the month. I summarized everything on this single video so you don't have to go hunting down everything and keep up to date with the demo scene. Everything is on the description below, all the links to all the different things that I referenced, so check those out. And there's also a playlist with all of the videos on YouTube, so if you want to check that out as well, it's easier to find all the things. I have quite a few Demoscene related media and out of competition releases that happened this month, so let's get right into it. I'm only going to cover one demo party, Demosplash and VCC Carinthia, which is a smaller party. I'm leaving the Miss Data and Comparade stuff for the next video, so if you're looking for that, check out the next video, check out part 2 of November 2023. Anyways, a lot of things to check out, so let's get onto it. Starting off with this background image that was effect that was coded by Lindrum during the Field Effects organized Monday Night Jams, where they organized especially for the Halloween themed event. They had 4 people doing some live coding stuff. Another of the images that was drawn was this fella here, a demon drawn by Sule, which I quite liked. I merged those 2 images, and this is the background for this month's edition of the Demoscene report. So let's start things off with the top of the month category, and we are going to take a look at the top of the trumpets on poet.net to see what are the main releases that came out this month. So most of them are stuff taken from either Deadline or Tersak Demoparties, which we already covered on last month's video. This is just a resume of the best demos that were bestly ranked throughout the month here. So you can see some stuff from SpecEPL as well, but most of them are from Tersak or Deadline, as I mentioned. There's Apex by Conspiracy creeping here, Bubble Universe DOS Sport by Kumal also creeping. Both of these were released this month, and I'll talk about them later on. So yeah, if you don't check anything else from the video, at least check these productions, though these were the best that were released on this past month. Moving on to the next thing on our menu, we have the Demoscene related media things. As usual, I go through a selection of the different things that are being announced, and I pick the ones that are like not strictly releases, like binary releases, but are videos or articles or things vaguely related to the demo scene. So first thing that I wanted to talk about is a brief history of computer music presented by Anders Norås at Copenhagen DevFest. Talks about tracker music throughout the years, shows a lot of demo scene references and music and video game music as well. The sound quality is a bit bad on the recording, but it's still an interesting talk to check out, especially if you are interested in the history of computer music. Then we had this podcast focusing on the Italian Amiga demo scene put out by the Retro Hour podcast series. So I recommend you checking that out, especially if you like Italian demo scene or are interested in knowing more about the Italian Amiga demo scene, which was quite active at the time. Still Amiga, we had Adrian trying to repair an Amiga that was put on the board like for display of some sort. He's going through it and repairing some things. So it's useful if you want to know what things to test, usually to try to figure out if your Amiga is still in working state or not. So I found it useful mostly because of that. Very interesting page by Mochi Mochi 3D talking about 4K executable graphics. Unfortunately, it's all in Japanese. You can still, Google Translate and hope for the best, but it's mostly useful for Japanese people. But it covers all of the main points. Like it has all of the different references that you really need if you're trying to get into making executable graphics in 4 kilobytes, static images in 4 kilobytes. This very in-depth article about that. Talks about different tools that exist. So yeah, definitely check it out. More things that came out. There was a technical write-up on Magnum A.I, 64K released for the at Tersak. released for the Amiga. Playton 42, as usual, does a very in-depth write-up, that's the right word that I'm looking for. Very in-depth write-up of the whole planning of his demo, which is very interesting, especially if you're planning to do demos for the Amiga. Has a lot of interesting information here that I highly recommend you checking it out. More things that came out. Provo does this amazing talk, I guess, seminar talk at NE Synth Fest. He talked about making music for intros, what we call intros, tiny programs, and he covers from bite-sized encoding until 4K and 64K long. So very relevant talk, especially if you're looking into making music for Demoscene productions. Very worthy talk, and he links to everything that he talks about, and he explains everything very well. So very, very highly recommended talk if you're looking to get more into that. What else? There was this OneShader page also being released where you can do WebGL fragment shaders. Very similar to Shader Toy, but a more simplified version of Shader Toy. Just recently released, has a few examples already in. So if you're looking for another GLSL writing sandbox, check out OneShader. Vibing with computer graphics throughout 30 years was released at GST channel. I think it's already 1 year old. It features quite a few demos in there. I just caught it on Demoscene Discord, and I thought it would be relevant to link it. Even if it's not new, it still mentions Demoscene in quite a few different places. Then I found about this Diskmags.de project, which is trying to catalog all the existing Diskmags that happened, and it's an academic project of some sort. It was the first time that I heard about it, and I am somehow related to the Diskmag scene, so I found it weird that I hadn't heard about it before. Asked a couple of more of my Diskmag friends, and they also hadn't heard about it. So it's really cool that this exists, and someone is actively trying to preserve and do some academic research on top of that. I hope it helps find some lost issues of older Diskmags, because there are quite a few that are missing here and there throughout the years. Things just got bit rot. A lot of PC Diskmags mostly seem to be missing in action, but also some from Commodore 64, from Atari, from Amiga. So it would be cool to find that and have like a proper archive of all the Diskmags. So yeah, I'm gonna keep following this project and see how it evolves, but it seems rather new. Moving on to other things, there was a new video released at FairLight TV. Bacchus talking about the key matrix v1.1. Have no clue what that is, but kudos to Bacchus for still keeping the channel going with some interesting information for the Commodore 64. Another thing that got released, the STEMifinator was released. You throw it a mod file, and it gives you out rendered versions of the different stems for each of the channels that were used. So it's useful if you want to do like remixes of 4-channel music or stuff like that. You throw a file at it, and you get back the flags, and you can open them in the DAW and just start mastering things or remixing things immediately without having to render every single channel yourself manually before doing that. Service provided by Zfoid and friends, as I'm aware, the Amiga remix crew. So yeah, check it out, especially if you like remixing Amiga demos. This is very worth checking out. Tool 3 got a new video release, just showing the news of what happened in Tool 3. Tool 3 is a tool used mostly by Still, but other Demoscene people as well to do some Demoscene productions, and it's open source, so yeah, check it out. There was a new hacker space with some Demoscene people involved opening up in Toronto, Ontario, which is cool to see more Canadian Demoscene happening. It says Queer Computer Club, but it's not strictly for queer people. If you're like straight or whatever, you can still go there. They just want to make it a safe place for people who are like usually a minority. So yeah, promises to be an interesting place if you like hacking, hardware hacking, coding, and all sorts of different places. So yeah, check it out if you're in Toronto. What else? LFT did a new thing, playing his Commodore 64 instruments and Amiga instruments to cover some classical music, in this case Vivaldi's Super Presto, The Storm. And then there was a very interesting interview with Martin Iveson, also known as Atjazz, talking about the different music that he did, all the presents that he did on the Demoscene, and also doing music for video games. What else? I think there's just one more video to show, which is also Amiga related. Building a new Amiga keyboard. So Jan Beta goes through the process of building this new Amiga keyboard. You have to order a special board. You have to solder all the stuff. It's good if you want to have a new, completely new keyboard with new components, new parts for your old Amiga. Highly recommend you checking it for that. Not very useful otherwise, but you know, a lot of people want to recover their Amigas, so I thought it was worth mentioning. Let's go over to the next thing on the menu, which is the out-of-compo releases, and we do have quite a few of those as well, since apparently the Commodore 64 scene is way too focused on doing things for celebrating the anniversary of Commodore 64 sceners, starting off with, did I get the screen right? No. Starting off with Hairdog, which turned 50 and got its own little intro for that. Then we had Halloween, the Halloween 2023 celebration intro by Hokuto Force. Just a little Halloween intro happening at the end of October. There was a SIGGRAPH invitation from Onslaught and DFAM for the Mega 65. Mega 65, for those who don't know, is like following the Commodore 64 architecture, but having it modern acceleration. So it's a whole new machine, but with some of the limitations from the original Commodore 64. Relatively new platform. I guess it's been around for a couple of years now. People are trying to get it popularized as a new platform. And you'll see more about that in a little while. Anyways, I wanted to talk about SIGGRAPH in particular. SIGGRAPH Asia this year has some Australian demosceners involved there, and they are organizing like a demoscene corner of some sort. You can submit demos there as original work. You can submit demos there as a part of a screening for the best of the year thing. So there's quite a few different things happening at SIGGRAPH Asia. And if you go to asia.siggraph.org, you should have more information there, or talk to JazzCat or Ziggy, online, and they will be able to give you information on that as well. So yeah, definitely check it out. The invitation itself was pretty solid as well, like not very complex, but it does its job and it has very good music and graphics. Moving on to other things, we had the LureCon invitation as well, small little demo party happening in the beginning of December. Bubble Universe DOS port by Tumel. You've seen this effect on the TIC80 intros that I did last month as background for this. It's an effect that came from Twitter, like a size limited Twitter thing, and some people were talking about it on the size coding Discord, and Tumel did a DOS part which has all the original psychedelic colors that were on the original sketch. I did a more simplified version for the TIC80. This is why both versions sort of came out at the same time, but both of us are digging from the original work released by, I think, a Japanese person, non-related to the Demoscene, that was released over a year ago or something like that. But check out you see the link right there to the original version by Yuru Yurararai Ru. So yeah, nice little intro, very cool effect, very interesting. More stuff for the Commodore 64, a wave screen intro by Blazon, then a Snake Chamber by Artline Design, a couple of intros for the Mega 65 that were released, just old ports or conversions from old stuff, like the Juggler effect, the old classical Amiga stuff, Bad Apple, because we need more Bad Apple in the demo scene. Ask Chuck why. He will be happy to rant you all about the importance of Bad Apple in the demo scene. Mega Poly, I don't know what this is, but I guess it's a poly streamer of some sort. For the Mega 65 again. Mega Tornado doing that old school Roto Zoom Chaos Tornado effect on the Mega 65. I didn't even check this, so it might be more than this. And then more Commodore 64 stuff. Some Petsky made intro by Genesis Project. by Scrap and Mermaid. Club 50 by Pretzel. Logic, here we go with the 50th anniversary thing. Seems to be a thing on the Commodore 64. I guess everybody's turning 50 on the Commodore 64. There was a new art pack released by Fire with some very good ASCII and ANSI. I always say ASCII wrong. And yeah, you can see a preview here. Some of these have been released at compos. At least I recognize this girl from some of the compos that were released recently, probably at Flash Party. And yeah, good stuff, especially if you like ASCII and ANSI stuff. Definitely check out the pack, full of goodies for you to check out. What else? Happy birthday to Proton. He also turned 50. And is this it? Nope. More intros for the Commodore 64. Electric by Onslaught. 50 years to Hein as well, with some very cool Petsky art there. Toggle Lovers United by Mayday, a music disc also being released for the Commodore 64. Then we go to Spectrum, not Commodore 64, for this 4K that's claiming to do some technological groundbreaking stuff. The scrolling 256 by 64 images at 50 frames per second. Yep. And then last but not least, Apex, which was the tool that was used by Conspiracy for over 10 years, or almost 10 years. They just put it online, available for you to check out. They have been working on a new tool since then, and they decided to release the old tool that you can use to check out, you know, how they did things, get a lot of reference information. There's a list of all the productions that they did using this tool. Those productions also come as assets inside the tool, so you can immediately see how all the different scenes were made and composed and all of that. And get some ideas out of that, make your own tool out of that. You can also reuse this tool and try to make some intros out of that. But it's already a bit dated in terms of technology. That's why they started working on the new one. So you will, if you start using this tool to make new modern 64Ks, you will always be behind technologically compared to stuff that other people might be doing. But still a tool worth checking out if you want to do more 64Ks. And learn more about the process and tools and how they did things. It's worth checking out. This was the highlight release of just yesterday. Already got a lot of thumbs up on Pouet. It's a very good tool. It's like the fourth tool or fifth tool that Boise did. And has very good usability. Anyways, moving on to more things, because I am on a time restricted table. I have to go to Demosplash, which was a demo party happening at MIT in United States. Not MIT, Carnegie Mellon, I believe. I always get this wrong. So let's take a look at Demosplash. They didn't have that many compos, but they've been running the demo party for over 10 years, 12 years now. And they always have some good stuff. And the cool thing about Demosplash is that they always play it on the real hardware. So they have like a whole shit ton of hardware showcased there when you see it on the live stream and if you go there in person, and they actually connect everything real time. So they spend a lot of time doing that, but it's pretty worth it. It's pretty interesting. So let's take a look at the compos that they had. Freestyle, ASCII and ANSI with only 2 entries. Second place to Arlequin. First place to X Walker. Zoomed in a little bit too much with this ANSI piece for DOS. Freestyle audio was won by Maze of Desire. Then freestyle video and graphics, they combine single graphics things with video pieces. Mikaleos the Duckman ended up winning this one, but let's take a look at all of the entries. So graphics entry by Stanislav of Powerbyte. This seems like a photo by DVNO. Then Sesu did this. I want to say this is coded. Like the background seems like an image, but the foreground image seems coded or rendered maybe. This one is definitely drawn in Krita, from what I remember. Punk's Not Dead by Poison of Singular Crew. Commodore 64 graphics as well by Copas of Leader. Very good image by Mop of Alcatraz, doing some modern graphics illustration things. Can I zoom in on this? Yes, I can. Like a lot of detail put into this. Very cool style. And then Duck Reality, which just looks like this, but it's actually a whole video making fun of Second Reality for reasons, because it's important to reference Second Reality. Retro Demo competition only had 3 entries. The third place was for a Commodore 64 invitation for the Cyber Siruja's meetup. Then something made for the MAME arcade. There's a specific name for that. Galaxian, I think it's called. A very specific machine is emulated in MAME, but it's for a very specific machine. And I should probably change the view to this so you guys can actually read what's there. Very cool to see stuff not made for usual platforms. So good job, Blar. This got second place. And so actually multiple scenes happening. So really cool. And the winner was Apple II Reality by Desire, which is trying to remake Second Reality in Apple II. Very limited platform. You can't really get much out of it. Some people didn't really like some of these effects, because most of these effects were like 2 frames just switching back and forth between each other, which is not really an effect, it's just page switching to effects. So some effects were okay. The other ones felt a bit like rushed just to have the full demo there, which wasn't in full at the end. Still an interesting homage to Second Reality. But yeah, it felt like it was a bit rushed. But kudos to Dieter for still doing stuff for the Apple II as usual. Did a very cool intro. Then we had the size-constrained intro competition also happening at Demosplash. Julia 256 bytes by Kneebeater got second place there with a Julia Fractal within 256 bytes. And then Creative Carvin 1K by Fulcrum got first place with a 1K intro made by I guess 7 of Fulcrum. So yeah, Demosplash, small demo party, but really cool to see some activity still happening in the United States as usual. More things that happened this month before we wrap things up. We have the VCC, which is a very small party happening in Austria of all the places. Not many releases happening there, just mostly different versions of the same game, Dagon's Awakening, that got released. We can actually see the Commodore 64 page, which summarizes things a bit better. So yeah, very small meetup happening in Austria, which had this game being released for the Commodore 64, translated into multiple languages, organized by Logiker, who does a lot of stuff for the Demoscene. So thanks for organizing this meetup as well. And then to wrap up this video, we have to talk about the upcoming demo parties that are still yet to happen on the Demoscene for this month of November 2023 and beyond. Moose Data and Comparade just happened this past weekend. I'll cover them on the next coming video. Still to happen is free demo parties on this last weekend of November. Transmission 64 online, dedicated to the Commodore 64. Syntax demo party happening in Australia, which is always a very cool party to follow. I think it's the main demo party in Australia nowadays. And then the Experience demo party happening in Hungary, a smaller demo party, but still usually has some good releases. And then after that, we have the first weekend of December with 3 demo parties. Inertia, that's happening in Portugal, that I'm helping organize. Please don't forget to come. And then Luhecon and 30N, 2 smaller demo parties happening in Germany and the Canary Islands, respectively. Also, Silly Venture is being planned out a week from then. Other things that are not listed here on demo parties is the Pimoroni competition that they had. The deadline just finished before recording this video. I was only made aware of this like a couple of days ago, so I couldn't really announce it before. But they do have a special competition running especially focused around the demo scene. I don't know why they didn't announce it on Demoscene channels. If you do a demo using the PicoVision product that they have, they will give you 500 pounds voucher of things. So really cool to see hardware companies sponsoring some Demoscene stuff. Shame I missed the deadline, but yeah, still cool to see anyways. Then we have the Only Sprites compo running on CSDB all the way until 17th of December. You can submit your entries there as well. We will cover that as well on the upcoming videos. And then SIGGRAPH Asia is also having an interesting special corner dedicated to the demo scene. They will be showing demos made specifically for SIGGRAPH, but also has a roundup like of the best of the year sort of thing. If you go to this page, you have all the information about the things. The links are broken there, the submission links. Like if you click here, it's the same page as you just came from. But I know the correct link, which is this one from Talks on Discord. So it's linked on the description below. If you want to submit your entry to the best of the year thing, please do consider submitting something to SIGGRAPH Asia. And yeah, I think that's it for this month's episode of the Demoscene Report. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're watching some very good demos. I'll be back in a few weeks after Inertia, probably to round up the end of November. And yeah, enjoy the demo scene, enjoy your demos. See you next time. Bye bye, everybody. Have a great day.